Yeah, sure, come and sit down.
Oh, great. Not bothering you or anything?
No, not at all.
Right, okay. Well, I think you're the best person to talk to about this. I've been thinking about becoming an Initial Harassment Advisor.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, and I know that you've been doing that for some time yourself. So I wonder if we might just be able to have a little chat about, what it actually entails.
Well, a lot of your role will be having conversations with people and just sitting and listening to them and their problems. And you'll find quite often that just being able to talk and offload will be enough for a lot of people, and you probably never see them again. But sometimes that can't solve the problem. And then your role really will be to advise, to support, empower them, help them make decisions on what to do next, and then support those decisions with them. For example, somebody might want to either talk to the person they think is harassing them or maybe email them, and you will help them talk about what they want to say to that person, help them maybe compose an email, things like that. We always try and solve things informally if possible, but if it's not possible, you can direct them to the formal process, tell them what their options are on that, investigations, things like that. But really, you are there to just support them and empower them to make the decisions they need to make, really.
Right. I wouldn't know where to start with any of that.
You'd get training before you started.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, and there's about 15 of us around the campus, so you'd never be on your own with it. We do have regular meetings, talk to discuss problems that we've had, support each other. There is that support network there, so you wouldn't be dealing with it on your own.
Oh, good, good. Could you perhaps tell me some of the things you had to try and sort out?
Well, obviously we deal with everything in strictest confidentiality, so I can't name names.
Of course.
So I can give you examples. Recently, actually, we had a fairly new member of the academic staff who was having a bit of trouble with his manager.
Well, there seems to be a problem here, Jeff, doesn't there? You've let yourself down, you've let the team down. You're just not achieving anything like what's expected of you. Now, I specifically asked for that report to be completed by Wednesday, and yet here we are Friday, and where is it?
But you told me the submission to the research committee had priority.
Yes, very good with the excuses, but not quite so good with the delivery. You either deflect all my requests for crucial work, or you dump it onto others. Now, I've tried to be patient with you, Jeff. I've tried to give you the benefit of the doubt because you're new here. What you don't seem to understand is that, I manage a whole department, not just you. And I need everyone pulling their weight. And you're just not delivering. As I said so in the team meeting last week.
In front of everyone?
Well, these things need to be said. And the rest of the team got the message. You just need to up your game.
But my workload is just impossible to achieve.
Well, everyone else seems to manage. You don't hear Carol moaning, do you? You see, this is another thing that needs to be picked up in your probation report next week.
Look, I think I do my job really well. Although everybody agrees that my workload is just unachievable. But it's Fiona. She just keeps picking on me. She criticises me in front of everybody, and she keeps setting unrealistic expectations over really petty matters. Yesterday was just the final straw. Look, all the department knows she has her favourites, and God knows I'm not one of those. But I won't be a yes man. And just because I have a senior position, that doesn't mean I should be the one to be bullied. I know I haven't been in academia very long, but I am a professional, and I didn't treat people like that to get to where I've got to. I should talk to the union, but if Fiona found out, my chance of getting out of my probationary period would be non-existent.
So what did you do?
Well, I asked him if he was comfortable talking to his manager, and he said that probably if he felt well prepared, he would be comfortable. So I sat with him and we talked through the sort of things he might want to talk about in the meeting, and we got to log together of examples from where he thought she'd been unreasonable. And they set up a meeting, and talked the problems through.
Right. And what happened?
Well, he seemed very encouraged by the results. He hadn't realised that she was under so much pressure from her manager, and she acknowledged that, you know, sometimes the stress does make her go off the deep end a bit. But she hadn't realised that moving from the world of business to academia was quite a different step for him, and he was going to take a bit of time to get up to speed with the rest of the team. So they've agreed to have one-to-one meetings on a regular basis, and you know, they seem to have a fairly good working relationship together now. Of course, it's not always just individuals that we deal with, sometimes it can be a team issue.
Right.
One example we had.
Do you know, I'm so fed up. I've got so much work on, and you know that job he's brought in today that he wants done, I mean, it's always urgent, isn't it? And he just swans in and just leaves you to get on with it, and he doesn't explain things properly. He doesn't tell you what he wants done.
And then when you've completed the work or you've done a lot of work on it, he comes back and complains that you haven't done it correctly.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you tell us it in the first place, it'd be fun, but just keep us in the dark like a whole time, really.
To be honest, I'm just fed up with being criticised all the time and bullied. I feel like we're all putting in so much extra work and we just don't get any thanks for it.
I mean, you were working late last week, weren't you?
Yeah, I was here till gone 6 last week.
Yeah, and I was working in my lunch break.
Oh, there you all are. If you've got time for a tea break, you've got time to catch up on the work we need to do. When I was in industry, we had a job to do. We got on and did it.
Well, they tried to sort it out amongst themselves and they weren't getting anywhere with that. So I suggested to them that they might think about going to mediation. I explained to them what it involved, you know, that it wasn't scary at all, it was, you know, a way to find out a working solution for them, which is what they did. They went to mediation, and I can't say they're going to be best friends at any time soon, you know, but they do have now a working solution to their problems.
So, is it just staff that you get involved in?
No, not at all. We deal with student issues as well. Not very long ago we had a problem with a student placement.
Morning, sweetie, you alright?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Morning. I've got them all here for the work placement.
Oh, that's brilliant, Mark, thanks. You're such a darling. Oh, what's been keeping you up all night? Or who has been keeping you up all night?
No one's been keeping me up all night, it's just always...
Oh, come on, we've seen you. We've seen you with
Yeah.
that girl from down the corridor.
Not just a one from what I hear.
Well, quite handsome chap like you, different girlfriend every night, I'm sure.
Don't be embarrassed about it, Mark.
Perhaps he's been on the communion wine.
Yeah. Yes, how much communion wine can you actually have? Is it enough to get tipsy?
yeah,
It's got to
sure.
be a bottle at least, surely.
Yeah. Excuse me? Oh, see, you tell us you're always off to church, but you're obviously going to the gym, aren't you, Mark? You're not fooling us.
Girls.
Perhaps if we get a British summer, we can see a bit of the action as well.
Look, I don't want to cause a fuss and I don't want to lose this work placement for financial study reasons. But the thing is, I just can't go into work in the morning. Not the work itself, the work's fine. It's just all the digs and jokes I get at my expense. And if I ever said a joke like they've been saying, I'd be on a sexual harassment charge in a heartbeat. My manager's turned a blind eye as well. And I just can't talk to someone. I can't talk to my family because they'd be offended. And I can't talk to my housemates because I've just got my own problems with them at the moment.
Okay, how do you feel about talking to your tutor?
I'm okay.
You're okay talking
yeah.
with them? Well, that might be the person to talk to, because your tutor would be in a good place to go and talk to the office manager, find out what's going on, have a word there, see if they can sort things out that way.
Okay, but what happens if nothing works out?
Well, if you try that and it doesn't work, come back and have a chat and we'll see where we can go on from there.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. Okay.
Well, he spoke to his tutor and the tutor went to talk to the office manager, who in turn had a word with the girls in the office, and they were devastated. They had no idea that they were upsetting him. They thought it was just, you know, office banter. So after that, you know, not only did they stop, but they took him under the wing a bit. You know, and he's back at uni now, but he still pops in to see the girls. You know, he really enjoyed his placement after that. And it's funny, when I was talking to him, he told me that he was having problems with his flat share.
So, what do you think of Joseph and Katie having their boyfriends round?
I don't know, man. That's kind of weird. They're always bringing them all the time at like late at night. Even more of that, like man to man. That's just not me, you know.
I thought I was the only one because I get tired and sick of washing dishes every day, every hour, every minute. This is the fourth time I'm doing this today.
Yeah, well, you're not the only one who's getting fed up because they're just always having their boyfriends round. And yes, this is meant to be a 5-bedroom flat, but for some reason we're always having 7 people in here every single night.
I know it's our space, but they also have the right to, you know, bring people over just like you do as well.
I know, and I know I've got to be more supportive of gay people, but it just goes against my beliefs.
You could speak to them one-on-one. Have you called Joe or any of them to talk to?
I've tried speaking to Kate, but the thing is, her boyfriend's too controlling. She won't let me near her, and I don't want to leave, but the atmosphere is too tense. I feel like I might explode.
No, just calm down, talk to them.
I can't believe what those three have been saying about us having our boyfriends over to stay. It's just getting a bit much now.
It's ridiculous. I mean, what's the issue?
I know. I mean, the students here anyway, and Emma had the whole hockey team over the other weekend, and it was chaos. I mean, one of them threw up in the sink, and we had to clear it up.
That whole weekend was a problem, and we had to deal with the issue. People invite people over. That's what happens at university.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, Mark's been a bit funny ever since he started his placement, hasn't he? I don't know if there's something going on there with them. And have you seen his Facebook statuses recently?
Don't even get me started.
No sex before marriage.
Ridiculous. And all the gay comments, it's not on.
That sounds a really difficult one.
We often have problems with students living together. We thought that probably co-mediation would be the best way forward with that, since the group was so split amongst themselves. And the mediators sort of helped them to develop a workable solution for living together. I don't know. We also, of course, had to remind them of the university's policy on dignity and respect. I'm sorry to have to rush you, but I do have a meeting I need to get to.
Right.
But you're more than welcome to walk with me down towards that way and we'll chat a bit more before I get to the meeting if you want to.
Yeah, if that's all right with you.
Yeah, that's a problem.
Yeah, definitely. I have to say it's been really useful so far. So
Good.
I'm learning an awful lot.
That's good to hear. Yes, it can be challenging, of course, but it's very
Excuse me,
interesting.
Liz, sorry. Can I speak to you about something?
Of course you can.
Students here were supposed to pay these ridiculously expensive fees, but when a lecturer doesn't do their job properly, surely that... We're supposed to evaluate the modules at the end of every term, but if that evaluation affects then the rest of the course, Professor Jones, he doesn't hand us our work back. We're expected to peer assess formative work, and it's a joke. I want to say something, but if it affects a place on his research placements this summer, then it just feels like I'll catch you later.
Hello, Liz.
You know, this year's intake, they're really struggling to come to terms with this idea of independent learning. And with the levels of sickness absence in the department and my own research commitments, I haven't got time to babysit them as much as usual. Peer assessment, that's not going down well either. And the strange thing is, we're not getting any feedback about it from the student reps on this module. Oh well, with a bit of luck, these research placements in the summer, perhaps that'll give them a bit of motivation. Eh? Anyway, nice to see you.
Okay, see you later.
So, what are you going to do about that one then?
Well, you want to be an IHA, don't you? What would you do about this?
Well, I think that's the way until I've had the training to get involved with that. What would you suggest to both of them?
Well, I mean, that is a good example of how the two sides to every story.
Yes, certainly see.
On the one hand, you've got